Donald Trump's first 100 days back in office are coming to an end. And first of all, let's give ourselves a round of applause. I mean, seriously, we must have some pretty strong mental health to make it through all of that. Just think about how many loud headlines and wild statements and flip decisions we've seen over these 100 days. And by the way, right after the inauguration back in January, I actually asked ChatGPT to predict what Trump's first 100 days would look like, and frankly, you might want to check that out first before watching the rest of this. Today, I'm going to clean up the mess and figure out what actually got accomplished over these 100 days, and here's the plan. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to break down everything that Trump did in his first 100 days, then have it rate its own prediction, like what it nailed and what it missed, and finally, ChatGPT will give Trump's first 100 days an honest score from 0 to 10. As always, if you're enjoying the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on that little bell so that you never ever miss out on brand new videos that I post every single week. Alright, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the video. Here we are. The plan is simple. First, we're going to gather up all the information on Trump's first 100 days, and once that's done, I'll ask the first question. Alright, it even shows images now, so ChatGPT needs to be clear, straightforward, unbiased, call a spade, no sugarcoating, no extra words, no fluff, none of that. And first up, I'm going to ask it to break down everything that Trump did in his first 100 days with its own take along the way, and here we go. Trump came into office like a bulldozer. Within hours of being sworn in, he signed a record-breaking number of executive orders, making it clear what his mission was: rip out everything Biden had done as fast and loudly as possible. Civil rights protections? Gone. Climate rules? Gone. Immigration policies? Obliterated. It wasn't careful or strategic. It was a public show of dominance. No hiding, no sugarcoating. Immigration was one of the first areas he hit hard. He shut down the CBP asylum app immediately, declared a new border emergency, and sent the military to the southern border. ICE raids exploded almost overnight. Trump even dug up old 1700s laws to mass deport people, ignoring court orders whenever they got in his way. Energy policy wasn't spared either. Trump sprinted to destroy anything related to clean power. He pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord again, slashed billions from green energy funding, revived coal projects, ended EV mandates, and declared a fake energy emergency just to turbocharge fossil fuels. Climate change wasn't even a thought. It was all about oil, gas, fast money, with zero concern for the future. On the economy, he reignited the trade war on steroids. Tariffs slammed China, Mexico, Canada, and basically every ally. Liberation Day came fast, with Trump slapping a 10% tariff on everything coming into the U.S. The result was instant chaos, a wrecked stock market, soaring prices, and furious trade partners. Under pressure, Trump announced a 90-day pause on parts of the tariffs to calm the markets, which did help stocks bounce back a little, but the damage was already done, and inflation risks kept climbing. The Justice Department quickly became another casualty. Within days, Trump pardoned hundreds of January 6 rioters, gutted DOJ leadership, fired inspectors general, and turned the justice system into a tool for personal loyalty. If you were with him, you stayed. If not, you were out. Justice wasn't about the law anymore, it was about revenge. Foreign policy followed the same pattern. Trump bent over backward for Russia, freezing military aid to Ukraine, demanding Zelensky hold elections during missile attacks, and publicly insulting him. He floated killing off Ukraine's NATO hopes and kept handing Putin gifts without a fight. Meanwhile, allies like Canada and Europe got threatened, mocked, or shoved aside. Even ridiculous ideas like annexing Greenland and grabbing control of the Panama Canal came back into the conversation. Under Trump, America wasn't a reliable partner anymore, it was a bully picking fights. At home, he moved to gut civil service protections, revived Schedule F under a new name, and even gave Elon Musk a role to audit federal agencies. Departments froze up, funding dried up, people didn't even know if their jobs would exist tomorrow. Civil rights protections got scorched too. Trump banned federal funding for gender-affirming care and ordered the government to define gender by birth sex only, which some could consider debatable moves depending on their views. But banning transgender Americans from the military and wiping out diversity programs wasn't even pretending to be policy. It was pure culture war straight up. And through all of this, Trump openly defied the courts. Judges blocked deportations and asylum changes, but he ignored them. Every lawsuit just became another rallying cry to his base. Legal experts warned the country was sliding toward a constitutional crisis, but Trump didn't slow down. Public reaction split hard. His base loved the chaos. Moderates and independents were horrified. Approval ratings collapsed by March. Economists warned of recession risks. Allies overseas started preparing for a world where America could no longer be trusted. Lawsuits piled up faster than under any modern president. By the 100-day mark, Trump hadn't solved a single major issue. No wars ended, no big laws passed. All he really did was rip up the rulebook and show that under him, government wasn't about law, it was about raw power. And if you weren't with him, you were the enemy. That's the real story of Trump's first 100 days. Alright, well, got it. Let me know in the comments if you think ChatGPT missed anything important. But now let's move on to the next part, where I ask it to rate its own prediction from back in January. I'm going to feed it the file with the prediction and have it analyze the whole thing. And again, if you missed it, make sure to check out the prediction video later. But for now, let's find out how accurate it actually was. And here's the answer. When you asked me to predict Trump's first 100 days back in office, a lot of what I said actually came true. I predicted he'd launch an aggressive deportation campaign, expanding ICE raids, restarting deportation flights, and pushing expedited removals. That's exactly what happened. Deportations ramped up fast, flights to unstable countries like Venezuela resumed, and legal chaos followed. I said Trump would roll back environmental protections and push fossil fuels hard. He did just that. Scrapping Biden-era climate rules, expanding drilling and gutting clean energy programs. I also called the trade chaos. I predicted sweeping tariffs targeting China and others, leading to economic disruption, and that's exactly what we saw with Liberation Day. A 10% tariff on all imports, causing a backlash from businesses and U.S. allies. I said Trump would start pardoning political allies early, and he did. Mass pardons for January 6 rioters right out of the gate, exactly like I expected. I predicted he'd pressure Ukraine into accepting a peace deal on unfavorable terms, and that happened too. He froze military aid and demanded concessions, basically holding Ukraine hostage. Even the wilder predictions came true. I said he might revive his Greenland obsession. He did, ordering a formal study on buying it. I said he might try to assert control over the Panama Canal, and sure enough, he pushed a new security deal with Panama, allowing U.S. troop deployments. I also said he'd start pulling out of major international agreements, and he did, abandoning global climate commitments again. Overall, my forecast ended up being dead on across immigration, environment, economy, loyalty moves, foreign policy pressure, and symbolic plays. But I underestimated how real and large-scale Trump's deportations would be. I thought it would mostly be fear campaigns and headlines, but it turned into full-blown mass arrests and deportations, even using Guantanamo Bay and ignoring court orders. I slightly overestimated how fast he could force Ukraine into a deal. He tilted hard toward Russia and pressured Ukraine, but he didn't formally lift sanctions or secure a surrender within the first 100 days. His approach stayed more chaotic and half-finished. And I was soft on how brutally fast he would tear down environmental protections. I expected a rollback. I didn't expect him to declare a national energy emergency and blow up the clean energy transition within weeks. That's it. Those are the few spots where my prediction didn't fully match reality. Everything else lined up exactly like I said. Well, yeah, I mean, it was pretty much spot on, but you know, it also kind of feels like there was nothing good about those 100 days. I know we probably all agree on that, but just to keep it fair and unbiased, I want to ask straight up, is there actually anything good that ChatGPT can highlight or not? But before we get into that, here's a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now while you're watching. YouTube really pushes videos more when you do that. So if you want to support the channel, make sure you do those simple things. It seriously helps out a lot. Thanks so much, and now let's get back to ChatGPT. Alright, ChatGPT, was there anything good in Trump's first 100 days? And here's the answer. If I'm being completely honest and fair, there are a few things that could be seen as positives, but they're small compared to the damage he caused. First, he was extremely effective at executing his agenda. Whether you agree with it or not, he moved faster than any president in modern history to do what he said he would do. No dithering, no hiding, he acted. That kind of speed and decisiveness is rare in politics, even if it was used mostly in bad ways. Second, border crossings dropped sharply. His brutal immigration crackdown did create a real deterrent effect almost immediately. From a purely results-based view, if you wanted fewer illegal crossings, it worked, at a huge human cost though. Third, energy prices dipped a little, very temporarily. By opening drilling and boosting fossil fuel production aggressively, he flooded the market a bit, and that did lead to short-term, cheaper gas and energy prices. But it's not sustainable long-term, and it comes at a major environmental price. Lastly, he exposed how fragile American institutions are. I know it sounds weird to call that good, but seeing how fast courts, agencies, and checks on power can be overwhelmed is valuable. It's a wake-up call. Now it's impossible to pretend the system will just protect itself without people actively defending it. That's it. No major legislative achievements, no real diplomacy wins, no lasting economic gains. Just raw speed, border control success at a heavy moral cost, slightly cheaper gas for a few months, and a brutal but important reality check about how weak democratic norms really are. Well, alright, I actually like that first reason the most. Like, even if the plan's bad, at least we've got one, right? Okay, now it's time to ask the final question and find out ChatGPT's honest score for Donald Trump's first 100 days in office from 0 to 10. Let's see what it says. Trump's first 100 days were reckless, chaotic, and dangerous. He cared more about looking powerful than actually solving anything. He wrecked alliances, wrecked the economy, brutalized immigrants, politicized the justice system, and ripped up civil rights. He didn't fix inflation, he didn't end wars, he didn't unite the country. He just created nonstop chaos and division while handing gifts to enemies like Russia. He moved fast and showed he could break the system, but breaking things isn't leading, it's destruction for the sake of attention. My honest score? 2 out of 10. And the only reason it's not a 0 is because, for better or worse, he actually did what he promised to his base. But as a president for the whole country, it's an outright failure. And that's it, 2 out of 10 from ChatGPT, and a full outright failure stamp on Trump's first 100 days. Be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments down below on whether you agree or not with the score. And while you're here, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description if you want to support the channel directly. So now go ahead and click on this next video where I asked the AI to rank Trump's 10 worst moves so far. I'm pretty sure you're going to like that one too. Thanks for watching, click on the video, and I'll be waiting for you there.